What's up, Tiff? How's it going? Are you looking at longs for today? We really are just going to wait and see. We're in a wait and see type of situation here. It's Monday. There's no news. We're inside of this bullish daily gap right here. Got a bearish inversion and a bearish gap above us. What's up, Zach? How's it going? Chew, what up? Entry soon? No. Good, man. Can't complain. There you go. Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on things. We're going to see how price plays out once market opens and go from there. Should be good. You always pay for TradingView to get the live charts. You don't have to pay for TradingView itself to get the live charts. You have to pay for data. You have to pay for data. You have to pay for the CME data package to be able to get live ES and NQ futures in general. But I do pay for the what is it, the premium TradingView plan or whatever it is, so that I can have more indicators and more replay features and things like that. There's other perks that come along with it, but live data doesn't come automatically with the TradingView package. You have to pay for the live data separately. How's it going, Jay? Still in bed waiting? I wish I was, man. What are you trading right now? This is ES. This specific chart is ES futures, S&P 500 futures. But we trade NQ as well. We bounce back and forth between the two. And this is the daily chart right here that we're looking at. 4-hour chart. We're delivering into this bullish gap here. So we'll see. I think we could be pretty bullish. But if we break this level down here, then it'll be interesting to watch, see what happens. Our weekend was good, Jay. I did schoolwork almost the entire time. I had planned to make some content. I recorded like a 30-minute video on Bookmap yesterday. And I realized that when I was using OBS to change to record, and when you change scenes, you have to make sure that the mic that you're using, the source is on each of the scenes, not just on the first scene. So the first scene for the intro, mic was working, and then I transitioned to the second scene to be able to show Bookmap, and I had talked for like 30 minutes, and I went back and listened to the recording and realized that the audio did not record. So I was like, dude, I have way too much to do to re-record this again. So I'm hoping to get you guys some stuff. If you're in the Discord, I kind of posted a couple screenshots and explanations of how to get started with that. Also, I was on a live call last night with a guy, and he was having an issue using my code on Bookmap, which is an issue. So I just emailed them literally 2 seconds ago, letting them know about the issue and seeing if they could give me a solution. Every time he entered the code and tried to check out, it just refreshed the page. So I'm hoping that they'll get back to me pretty quickly on that, and we can figure out what the deal is so that you guys can make sure that you get that discount. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, if you guys ever run into any issues like that, feel free to DM me and let me know, because I want you to know that I'm not really making a whole lot of money off of that. That's not what my concern is, really. I don't really care. My concern is that you guys get a discount and you're able to use the software, because I truly do believe in it. Like, I really do believe in how effective it is. So that's what's important to me. And if there's a cost barrier there for you, and that discount's going to kind of mitigate that issue, that's what my concern is. So if you're running into issues like that, feel free to let me know. Yeah, I got to redo the whole thing, Jay. Yeah. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. I also kind of had messed up a couple times I was trying to do it all in one take. So not necessarily a bad thing that I have to redo it. Are you bearish? We're delivering out of this 4-hour bullish inversion, these kind of two bullish inversions right here, or bullish gap and then a bullish inversion there, bullish inversion there. And on the daily, we're inside of a bullish inversion and a bullish gap. So we do have these bearish inversions above us and bearish gap above us, but we'll see. I'm just kind of waiting to see how the market reacts off the open. What future is this? This is S&P, so ES futures and NQ. We bounce back and forth between the two. I think we're going to see a bearish move. We could. I don't really know what we're going to see. we got indicators pushing both directions here. So this is the bullish inversion that we're in on NQ. On ES, we're inside of a bullish daily gap right here and a bullish inversion. We do have two bearish imbalances above us. So same with NQ, we have this bearish imbalance above us. So we'll see. We just got to be patient. No reason to try to be Nostradamus and predict the open and try to, take a premature trade. We'll just see what the market gives us, wait for it to show its hand, react accordingly. It reminds me, I think it was Mike Tyson that said, he was talking about fighting. He said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. That's kind of how trading is. Like, everybody has a plan until the market opens, and then who knows what's going to happen. You can have a plan, you can have an idea, but most of the time it's going to do what it wants to do, and I mean, all the time it's going to do what it wants to do, and sometimes that lines up with your plan, sometimes it doesn't. Might take the Leroy Jenkins approach. What's that, Ken? What's the Leroy Jenkins approach? Just YOLO it? He says we're going in. Forgot my LaCroix. Hang on. Ugh. LaCroix needs to sponsor you. That'd be sick. Would love it. Appreciate you sharing the live, Coop. Yeah, man, we start at 9. That's the time. Yo, Christian, how you doing? How was the weekend? It was good, man. It was good. Just did schoolwork literally the entire time. Worked out Saturday. Did not work out. I don't work out on Sundays. I wanted to, but it's just I have rules, man, and I'm almost like I got a little bit of the tism, so I stick to my rules. Try to. So I don't work out on Sundays, and I studied the entire time. How was your weekend? What's up, Ryan? How's it going, man? I don't really know. I mean, if I was just shooting in the dark here and I had a bias, I would say we're long. But we do have some sell side here from way long ago. This is from September. These lines here that I have marked out. So, I mean, overall, the market has been pretty bearish the past since November 4th, really. I mean, we came up a little bit, but we didn't break these highs up here. So we could continue to dump lower. We'll see. School, yeah, schoolwork, man. Do we have an opening Bible verse, Misty? Or is it Missy? Let me check. If we don't already have one, Tristan, I love Tristan's post in the Discord, but if he didn't post one, I'll definitely read one. It's a good way to start the session. I like that. Like that a lot. Tristan has not, but guess what? I will find one. All right, 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. It says, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ." Amen. Let's find one more, and I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. This is 1 John 4:4. It says, "Little children, you are from God and have overcome them. For he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world." Love that. Yeah, Mason School. I'm in school, in college right now, trying to get finish my undergrad. I got a year and a half left. Weekend was relaxing. Rain kept me in all day, unfortunately. Good chance to catch up on some sleep and reset your batteries a little bit, recharge them. Some interesting volume below us here, down to 67, 27.50 area, 67.28 basically. Absolutely, yeah. If I do a book map video, I'll go over exactly how I analyze things. I think that's probably one of the most important things about it. Moody, it's at 11:15 today, so it will be a shorter stream, unfortunately, but hopefully we can capitalize on something while we're on stream. Are you a millionaire? Pocket watching, man, it won't get you anywhere. Unfortunately, I'm not yet. I think it's supposed to get cold again today, Missy. You said you're in Roxborough, right? Warming trend over the next 2 days. Okay. Never mind. Looking like money. I appreciate it. Quarter zip. I have quarter zips, man. I think that's so funny that trend is starting to come back. I've been rocking the quarter zips for 10 years. I've seen all these videos on TikTok. I saw them over the weekend. People talking about wearing quarter zips like that's a new thing. But it's pretty funny. What's your initial thoughts for today? Yeah, the wind was crazy yesterday, Missy. I walked to Chipotle, and I about got knocked over. It was gusting. There's Tristan. How's it going, man? AP initial thoughts are bullish, but we'll see. I could be wrong. We do have a lot of liquidity to the downside on ES that could get swept up here. We're delivering out of these bearish gaps and into these bullish gaps right here. So we'll see. Exactly, Zach. Yeah. Good style doesn't go out of style. I like that. What's up, Watt? That's what you're thinking, Ben? I see the thought process there. Yeah, that's what these marks are on the chart. Bods, however you say the name. That's what these high lows. New York AM low, New York AM low, London high, New York AM high. Those are just session highs and lows, as well as we do the daily open and whatnot. Yeah, you do. You have to be 18. A lot of it. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I could see that. The only holdup is we got this 4 hour here that we're in right now. I mean, we got some 4 hour. We got a lot of 4 hour support going on right here, in this daily support that we have here. So if we broke those and we swung down to that level, it could be interesting. But this area down here, 65.35 area, 65.38 area. This, I think that man, if you broke that level, this is going to go low, in my opinion. I mean, you could see this almost go down. I wouldn't be surprised down to 6,000. But that we would be in we'd have some stuff going on, and it's possible. Who knows, man? I think the market's kind of teeter-tottering right now. We'll see what happens. This is a yes right here, Ben. Yeah, I like a yes, man. Nice, getting away from all-time highs. Yeah, it's easier to. It seems easier to trade. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going? What's up, Evan? Man, I forgot your name. I know you're Korean, but I forgot the name. I'm gonna translate that real quick. I can't copy it. Remind me of your name again, man. What's up, MM? How's it going, man? Thoughts on the thoughts on the Toronto accent? Dre, that's right, yeah. Do I have a Toronto accent? What would I recommend to learn to be successful in the market? Patience and discipline. As far as like market structure and stuff, there's plenty of, I mean, depending on the style of trading you want to do, I mean, there's different schools of thought when it comes to what's most effective. There's ICT, there's order flow momentum, there's supply and demand, there's different trading styles. I basically combine ICT principles with order flow momentum trading. And there's plenty of YouTube videos on that kind of stuff. I myself am going to be putting together a series from the most basic stuff all the way up to the more complex stuff of how I trade. Haven't had a chance to do that yet. But T-Trades is a good account to check out in the meantime. And he has a lot of very informative stuff. You know, somebody did bring to my attention it. Even the most basic stuff that he has takes for granted that you might expecting you to know terms that you might not know. So you might have to do your own research and figure that kind of stuff out. But in terms of just basic market structure analysis, it's very good. What's your bias for today? I'm thinking long, but we'll see. We'll see. I could be completely wrong. We're gonna just. I don't really like to marry a bias. I mean, I like to have an idea, but market open is going to really dictate the direction, obviously. What's on my Telegram? I don't have a Telegram. I have a Discord. What's up, Ty? How's it going, man? Got my first 2 payouts. That's awesome, dude. Taylor, that's sick. That's a good feeling. I wanted to say this earlier. I don't like to rub making money into people's faces. I mean, that's what we're all here for, is to make money. But I will tell you this. There's no better feeling than waking up Monday and looking at your phone and seeing that your payouts hit that you requested on Friday. That's a pretty good feeling. It's definitely a pretty good feeling. But congratulations, man. Passed your first evaluation. There you go, Mock. What are you doing right now? We're waiting for market open at 9:30. You'll get there, Talk. Slow and steady, man. Trust the process, perfect the system, develop the risk management and the discipline, and the payouts will definitely follow. Thanks, Big Dog. Your advice helped a lot. I appreciate that, Taylor. I can give all the advice in the world, man. It doesn't matter until somebody can take what I'm talking about and actually apply it. And the fact that you were able to do that says more about you than it does about me. So I think that's awesome. On my first funded TPT this morning, there you go. Zach, I love those. I love TPT, man. I really do. TPT is goated. How much of it is just discipline at the end of the day? I'd say 90% of it. 90%, 90 to 95% of being successful is discipline and risk management. And I think those two kind of go hand in hand. Oh, you said crazy how much of it? Yeah. You're right. You're exactly right. What time do you get on the markets? I mean, I start evaluating the charts around. It depends. Today I didn't sit down here until 8:30ish, something like that. I've been studying, man. But I do a little bit of an analysis the night before, and then when I wake up, I just got to analyze the London session really. So. Verse of the day posted. Hey, we read 2 before you got in here, Tristan, but I'm gonna read what you posted. It doesn't hurt to read more. This is Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. I like that. I'm not familiar with Zephaniah a lot. I haven't read a whole lot of Zephaniah. I like that. This is the daily right here. I'm going to bounce down here. We're getting closer to market open, so I'm going to bounce to the 15. Take a look around, see what we're looking at. We got this inversion here. That's the low from the open last night that we're looking at there that we just swept. We have New York AM low right here from Friday the 14th. That was this past Friday. So bounce down to the 5 now. We're going to keep an eye on this. There's a lot of space here to the downside. Liquidity on ES on the book map stops around 67.22. So around this level here. Slight order block we have in there. So it'd be interesting to see what we got going on. It's my belief on communion. I think it's good. Small book, yeah, I think. Kill zones? You're talking about like just in terms of Marlin, you're talking about just time frame? 9:30 to like 11, and then from like 1:30 until 3 Eastern time. Those are I think the most high probability time zones, time frames, kill zones. Where will ES and NQ be at the end of the year, man? If I knew that, we would be sitting in Monaco right now on our yacht, waiting for an F1 race to start. No, that's not me, man. They're scammer accounts, dude. I'm sorry, that's not me. This is my only account. There's a couple of scammer accounts. They actually have a lot of bot followers. That's not me though, so don't get scammed. Don't engage with those guys. Yeah, Reginald, I've seen that. You just got to pray, man. You got to stay strong in your faith. To be honest, I mean, if you're a believer in the book like I am, you know that things got to get rough before they get better. So it's all foretold. You know, I don't believe in rolling over either. So got to do what you can. At the end of the day, you can only control you and those around you in terms of your influence. So got to make sure that you're squared away. Samad, what up? I'm thinking long, man, but we're pushing down here, so could dump. The reason I say long is we're inside of these daily gaps here. We're inside of this daily gap and daily inversion to the upside, bullish. And this is the 4-hour bullish fair value gap, bullish inverse fair value gap. So we'll see. Got market open here in a minute and a half, so let's dial it in here. Appreciate that, Zach. Yeah, ballast, exactly. Yeah, if they would actually take that energy and apply it to learning how to trade, man, they would probably be pretty successful. They'd rather scam. How do you say your name? Is it Bauds? 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 I appreciate that, man. Bauds? Okay. Omni, what up? Bookmaps lit up down to 67.22. A couple of orders coming in lower than that. We got market open here, 30 seconds. Got more orders coming in lower here, down to 67.13. A lot of orders coming down here lower. This could be dragging us down here. We'll see. 10 seconds. Hugo, what up? max risk for a day. I mean, I don't necessarily go off of that, man. I go off of good entries. I go off of here's open right now. Let's see what happens. I'll answer that in a second. Sorry, I just saw that message, man. 6-7. Start that. Yeah, we're on ES right now. We're gonna obviously bounce back and forth, but ES. I've been feeling ES recently, so we'll keep an eye on it. Orders down to 67.10 now. Six, 7. Still don't get that. We're open right now, Dre. We just opened. So 1 minute in right here. What's up, Brandon? How's it going, man? Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Christian Trades Live is the name on there. Hugo, my rule is if I take a trade and I lose, so here's how I start the day. If I take a trade and I win, that's it for the day. If I take a trade and I lose, I take one more trade. Win or lose, I'm done. So that's my risk management. And I typically, that loss is going to be no more than $800 or $900 per account. And that's simply based on where my stops are, where my entries are, my sizing, things like that. I don't necessarily shoot for a dollar amount. That's just the, that's typically how it works out. What's up, Xavier? How's it going, man? Yeah, it works out, Tristan. It definitely works out. I mean, I've had success with it. If it wasn't working, I would definitely change it, but pushing up now here. Leaving some liquidity behind. This could be a retest to drop lower. We'll see. I'm going to move this sweep that we had, move that on NQ as well. NQ's pushing higher. Careful, this could be the manipulation before the distribution. Not totally sure here, so just keep an eye on things. Are you running multiple streams? Yeah, I got YouTube going and just TikTok. Sometimes I'll stream on Kick as well, but I haven't really done that at all recently. Tyler says, morning Christian, I'm looking hard at buying this book map. What is your code? And do you have a setup tutorial anywhere on your settings? Tyler, I'm working on that setup tutorial. And as far as the code, I think there's an issue with it right now. I was on a call with a guy last night, and we were having an issue getting it to work. So I've emailed my representative at Bookmap, and I'm waiting for her to get back to me. I sent the email about 30 minutes ago. So once she gets back to me and confirms that the issue is resolved, the code will be CWT. But as of right now, I don't think it's working. So appreciate that. Yeah. And I had recorded a tutorial this weekend. I was talking about it earlier, and I got done with it and was rewatching it and realized that when I transitioned scenes on OBS, the software I was using to record, the audio got cut because I didn't put my audio source on each individual scene. So I recorded it with no audio basically. So I got to redo that. What's up, Randall? How's it going, man? This is ES right here. Yeah, I do have a YouTube. Christian Trades Live. ES is pumping. NQ's pumping. This could be the bullish move that I was looking for, but it also could be the manipulation before the distribution. So let's just Stay patient here. Don't get too antsy. Don't forget the signal. Is market open? Yeah, it opens at 9:30 Eastern time. It's been open for 5 minutes. Are they making noises in the tunnel? I see you slipped in there. Don't know your name. I know your emoji. Oh, I think that might be a different person. Trade full time? Yeah. Yes, we are. We're using order flow as well, YB. We're also using ACH as a payout method for all the payouts we take. Sometimes we'll use PayPal, but mostly it's ACH. Matrix. Crying emoji. You must be crushing it if you got enough time to come into somebody's live. Talking silliness. God bless you, though. Broker, we use Take Profit Trader and Apex Funded Trader. So we'll see what this does at the 67, 62.50 level. That's where orders kind of, the majority of the major orders are kind of dying off at that level, 62 on ES, 62.50. But we'll see if that order sweep into this level creates momentum and it goes higher, or if it just rejects off of this level and dips back. Be interesting to see. And it happens to coincide with what? Oh man, that fair value gap. All right, more orders coming in higher, so this could create momentum here. Six, seven. Sometimes I wonder why I don't gamble on fundeds. Because you're smart. You need your liquidity. All right, man. Why don't you stick around here for a little while? You might learn something. It sounds like with your arrogance and your bullheadedness, you might need to be humbled a little bit. God bless you, though. Looks like Trump grabbing. Oh man. Pulling a little higher here. I did not invest in the Trump coin. I did not. Randall, do you think that's? I mean, I've seen that picture too, but what do you think of all that? Not to get too, we don't have to get too political in the chat up there, but I don't know, man. I find that hard to believe, but who knows nowadays? People just want attention. Dre, that's how it is, man. He's lonely. I hope he sticks around so he can find some good community here, because I think there's some good guys he could probably learn from. Majority of my crypto portfolio came from Trump coin. That's wild, dude. I didn't throw anything at it, to be honest. We don't want him. Hey, man. You got to have a good influence on people. Maybe he can change. Just seen a guy 5 contracts in at 9:30. It's rough. If he was long, though, he's eating. What's up, Zach? How's it going, man? He's up 5K. There you go. I'll show you guys what the book map's looking like here. A lot of liquidity to the downside. So this could be an area where we either get a retracement or it just keeps blowing up. Be interesting to see. Keep an eye on it, obviously. Stay patient. Christian, I got the best strategy for you. Talking about politics at Thanksgiving and see. Man, everybody that it's going to be at my Thanksgiving is well aware. Most of us are on the same page too. I like your thinking though. A lot of orders going down. Would not be surprised if we just keep going. Yeah, both things could happen. I think we could get a retest into this area right here and then push higher. But we could also, this could have been the manipulation here. I know that's a pretty large manipulation leg, but this could have been the manipulation and then the distribution comes to the downside at this point. We'll see though. This is why I don't trade, super quick off market open. You sound very good English for an American. I appreciate that. It is my native language. Do you do this daily? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Took a long off 3-minute inversion, although my stop loss is questionable. Yeah, you're probably up, man. Bryson, I'm sure that'll be a topic of conversation at some point. What's up, big man? What's up, Nora? How's it going? My buy was on my eval on NQ. Wish it was funded. How much are you up, Tristan? Matthew, I'm thinking you could be right, man. It could be these daily gaps up here that we just kind of touched into. It could be pushing into those and then rejecting right out of them as a resistance level. We'll see though, because we do have support below us, daily support below us. So that it could, and the third option here is it could just consolidate. Thanks for helping your grandma get ripped. Absolutely. She's a beast. Runs in the family. What am I trading? This is NASDAQ and S&P futures. Currently, we're on the S&P chart. Any chance the audio on YouTube can be turned up? Let's see. Let's see. Is that better? Is that louder? Is that about the same? And TikTok? I can definitely turn the TikTok one up. I did want to be screaming at you guys here. Is that better? No more delays. I think I got it figured out. I think I got it figured out on the settings. I turned it on ultra low latency, so it shouldn't be a delay. It's an indicator. Why is every gap marked? It's an indicator. Just out of sheer laziness, I keep the indicator on. Mid 1.2 in 15 seconds. Dang, Sammy. You were sized pretty heavy on that. Or was that across multiple accounts? Yeah, I definitely think I fixed the delay there on YouTube. Are you familiar with ZZ? Yeah, I watch him and Turbo sometimes in the Asia session. Watch them trade gold. Why don't you mark London lows? I do. I do. When there are London lows to mark. London highs there. Got London lows down here. Swept London lows down here. Swept London lows here. Each account was 1.2, 15K. Holy cow, man. You're up big on the week so far there. What would you say your biggest problem was to overcome before you started making profits? Patience. Old me would have FOMO'd into a trade like this. Would have felt like I needed to predict where price was going to go right at market open and take a trade, and then end up getting stopped out, getting pissed off, revenge trade it, end up losing more, blow accounts. I'm at the point now where I'm confident enough in my trading abilities that I can just sit here and watch it. If I miss a trade, I miss it, but I'll catch the next one. Just look at it more long term rather than trying to look for immediate, big home runs. Entered too long unfunded. There you go. Stream is on YouTube is actually faster than TikTok right now. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. What do you think of Turbo and ZZ and how they trade? I think they're great traders. They, any strategy that you implement with discipline and solid risk management skills is going to be successful, in my opinion. I got to turn my air off, sorry. And I think that they both have pretty good discipline. I don't know how Turbo ended up last night. I saw he was down like $2,000 at one point, but for the most part, I think over the past 5 months or something, he's had solid success. I like them, and I think I like their personalities a lot. I think their temperament bodes well for solid trading. People who are emotionally charged typically don't do well trading, and I think they're both pretty even-tempered. They're humble. I think those are qualities that you have to be successful. He ended up 2K. There you go. Yeah, see, he's disciplined, man. And most people say, oh, he's down 2K. Why didn't he stop trading? Well, he's trading 150K accounts, I think, and he has enough buffer in those accounts where that's within his risk management skill, within his system that he has. Yeah, this could just keep pushing to London high. How's class going? Appreciate that question, Ben. Class is going well. It's kicking my butt, but I'm maintaining some solid grades right now, and the semester's almost over with. So, 50K buffer starts at 2,500. Are you saying what should it be? In my 50K accounts, I leave like 2 or 3 grand on top of what it is, so that I can not worry about having to size super low without, you know. I like trading minis, so being able to take a $1,000 loss on a day doesn't necessarily hurt me that bad. I'd have to do that 3 days in a row to really get shellacked. Bro, you're about to be making more than your teacher's salary. I already am. But you're right. Can't look at it like that though, man. Income is only one aspect of life. I mean, obviously it's super important, but they're doing what they love, and you know, most of them are, at least. Do I recommend following PJs? Yeah, I do. I do recommend that, especially if you're really new to trading and you haven't been taking consistent payouts. The 1 micro for every $500 of drawdown you have in a funded account is definitely a good rule of thumb. For me though, I have enough buffer built up in my accounts where I can trade 10 micros, and instead of doing that, I'll trade 1 mini because the commissions are way less. You get eat up with commissions trading that many micros. Yeah, it prevents me from being able to scale out of a trade, but I'm fine with that. Do I fuck with the quarter zip movement? I started the quarter zip movement, man, 10 years ago. I didn't start it, but this isn't a new thing. I don't know who like just decided this was like a new thing. It's been a thing. No such thing as a dumb question, Zach. Yeah, I use the Trade daily profit target for my Apex accounts, but not for my TPT. Whatever, Zach, you have to reach the buffer first. So if you're in a 50K account, you have to reach the 2K buffer on your TPT account, and then everything above that 2K. So once the account balance is 52,000, everything above that you can withdraw. Is that your question? The unk of the quarter tips. I actually have a picture that I saw. I saw this movement and I was like, I think I have a picture of me like 10 years ago rocking the quarter zip. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. It's like Christmas time rocking the quarter zip. That's when I used to drink a little glass of wine there between the legs. Back in the day. Had more hair then too. Absolutely not, Reaper. Zach, what I would recommend though, like, and you do whatever you want, but what I do in the TPT accounts, I like to leave a buffer in there above the buffer. You know what I mean? So that because you have to reach the 52K account balance to be able to take a payout, right? Well, what happens if you have a losing day and you get down to 51,000, and then you got to make 1,000 plus whatever on top of that to take a payout? I don't like that idea. So what I do is I'll leave, let's say it's a 52K or a 50K account, I'll leave 53K in there. So that way, even if you have a losing day, you're still eligible for payouts. You know what I mean? If that makes sense? Do you have all your accounts copy trading? Yes, I do. With TradeSyncer. It definitely printed, yeah. NQ went up 280 something points or so. ES 50 points almost. Taking trades? Nah, we're just chilling, waiting to see a setup that we like. Haven't gotten a setup. This was just a push. I mean, we did tap into some, tap into supply range here, but that's not in my wheelhouse of trades I like to take. The trade sinker make firm not want to pay? No, I've never had that issue. Stream is actually faster. Entered plus 2K stopped out. Stopped out negative 250 or up 250? If I was in this trade right now from anywhere down here, my take profit level would be London high. I'd be holding until then. I'd be trailing my stop slightly, but if I was going to trail my stop on ES, I wouldn't have it any tighter than that right there. Yeah, London high on ES up at 68.01. I'd be keeping an eye on that level. There's some liquidity higher than that, but that would be my main target. I don't. I like SMTs, but them in and of themselves aren't what I would base getting in and out of a trade off of. It could just be that we're lagging a little bit on one indice versus the other for a second, and it's getting ready to catch up. Especially when you have such strong bullish movement like this. And I could be wrong. It could, it could just dump from here, but it wouldn't be the sole thing that I would go off of in terms of getting in and or out of a trade. Appreciate those gifts, man. Appreciate that a lot. Moving my stop loss in profit on a bottom candle. Hey, you're up, man. You're green on the day. That's a good day. Glad I stumbled on your Ballas. I'm glad you're here, dude. Glad you stumbled on it too. Up 1,700 on the day. There you go. 50, no, we haven't taken the trade. No. What broker do you use? Using Take Profit Trader and Apex Funded Trader. Insane sleeper build. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we're still, again, I think we're still bullish here. I would not be looking for a reversal just at this point, but we'll see. There are orders stacked down to the 67.40 area, but this could be a retest for higher. We'll see. You would say we're talking in London high, at least? Yeah, I would say so too, Nick. That would be the full move here. We'll see though. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We shall definitely see. That lunch high, I don't know if that's what you have marked as New York AM. That's I mark out the lunchtime hour. That's from 12:35 or 12:30 on Thursday, last Thursday. That's the level I have marked just above the London high. And then I don't think, did I mark New York AM? I have New York AM above it, yeah. Oh, you're in NQ, okay, okay. Yeah, this is a yes. If bro has a sleeper build, what's a non-sleeper build? It is more sleeper so now than it was, but Lewis, I have Bookmap. So level 2 data, yeah. Yeah, I'll show you guys a book map real quick. This is what we're looking at, just so you can get a little reference on ES. This is what we got. So maybe I look like a middle schooler. I need to get back into it hard, man. I'm still working out. I'm just not eating the quantity and the frequency like I was, which makes a huge difference. I mean, I'd say 80% of being in really good shape beyond a sleeper build is making sure that you're eating enough and eating quality, high protein meals. I'm only eating like 2 or 3 meals a day right now. And when I'm looking the way that I like to look, I'm eating more like 5 meals a day. And I'm actually like measuring out my food and doing that, which I haven't been doing recently. Might enter longs again. I would say, Randall, that you do what you want. I won't dissuade you. You do what you want. Up 400 on eval. There you go, Isaiah. What setups are you looking for? I would be looking. My next setup would be a sweep of a major level and either a continuation or a reversal. Because I would say long term Omni, that's not it's not an ideal way to trade. For me personally, I trust my ability to find a more reliable setup than just doing that. So, Joseph, you're not missing anything, man. I think you might get a push back into this 15. If this is 15 inverted, then it would be really interesting. But I think you're going to get a dump right here down to maybe even the 67.40 area down here in the 5 minute. And that's a full move with the standard deviation there. So Bookmap's lit up down to 67.40. This might have been, was there a setup in here? Yeah. You got a breaker here, but there's really no sweep. There was 4 standard deviations taken, so I guess that's something to go off of. But you'd be shorting, if you were going to short this, you're shorting into these 5 minute and 15 minute gaps. I don't trust a short here. I think we do go a little lower, but I don't trust it down to where I'd want to go. I could be wrong, but where I'd want to go is probably down at least to this level. So we'll keep an eye on this 15 and the 5. If we invert those, then I might get in short. especially this 15. If we inverted this 15, I'd be really tempted. Yeah, if you look at the, if you're going off of standard deviation here, I mean, you basically hit 4 standard deviations there, right where it turned around. So that's typically a full move, but we're getting a retest of this 5 and then a push right back out of it. So like I said, I'd want to see an inversion, and it wouldn't just be of this first gap. You need the first presented. So I'd want this first presented 5-minute down here to get inverted to the downside before I'd enter a trade. Ben, it's all, everyone's free to exercise whatever strategy works well for them and what makes sense to them. FEGs are another way to describe irrefutable market technical analysis, which would be imbalances in price action. So people call them different things. I know them as fair value gaps, and that's what makes sense to me, and it's what allows me to take payouts and pay my bills and have very high success rate in trading. If there's something else that works for you, then I'm sure that's awesome for you. But what works for me is identifying fair value gap inversions and things of that nature, and they work very well. So that's just a way to make sense of what is happening. It's another way to label something that makes sense to me. In trading, do you think you take a trade unless you think you're going to be right, correct? That would be ideal, Davidson. Yeah, if you get an inversion of these 5 minutes or this 15 right here, I think we could be breaking loose for the downside for sure. This is ES. Glad to hear that, Missy. Big orders coming down all the way to 67.40 here on ES. Done for the day. There you go, 500 on the way to the gym now. That's beautiful discipline, man. Take your money, get in, get out. Shake the money tree, grab a couple leaves, move on with the day. Yeah, Jonathan, I do. I always, whenever I'm trading, I'm going to have Bookmap going. But I trade the same way. I mean, I'm looking for the same things around those times. I like that strategy, Ben. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution is a great model to trade off of. This is a pretty strong manipulation leg, but that's what I was saying at the beginning of the session. We were kind of accumulating, and this was a very strong manipulation if that's what that was. And then the distribution would be to the downside to these lows. So it sounds like we're looking for a very similar setup here. I was initially bullish off of pre-market, but with this move right here, it kind of shifted what I was thinking. I was thinking that if we were going to be bullish, we'd come down, sweep a little lower, and then go higher. But the fact that we kind of manipulated up to this level and now we're coming back down leads me to believe that basically the opposite of what I was looking for is what's going to happen. Start a job tomorrow and can't trade at 9:30 anymore. Trade, wake up early and trade the London session, man. That's what I've done in the past when I had commitments that conflicted with market open. 67.40 still key level here. Still orders stacked up down there. You like Asia better than London, Tristan? you catch that, Marco? How much did you get? Where would target be for shorts? At least New York AM low down here from last Friday. Need the first presented 5 or the 15 to flip. Quick 1240, there you go. Very nice. I just haven't had much luck on Asia, Tristan. It hasn't been my wheelhouse. Maybe I'm just too tired by the time that rolls around. Brain's too worn out. The New York AM low on ES is right here, 66.70, 50. There you go, 80. What are you doing when we have a pretty bearish bullish breaker set up? You can't really have both of those perfect setups at the same time. You would need a sweep of a high or a low to have a perfect breaker setup. So you can't sweep a high and a low at the same time. Just because you get a breaker in the middle of the range, I wouldn't classify it as a perfect setup. I love you, bro. I appreciate that, man. I love you too. Of course, Marco. What's up, Ryan? How's it going, man? What setup are you looking for? I'd like to see an inversion of this 15 here, and then we'll target the downside potentially, but I'm just waiting. This might be a retest of this 5 and then a push higher. But there are orders lower here. Just waiting to see what it wants to do. You show an example. I mean, we had a 3-minute breaker here for a short potentially, but we didn't sweep a level. This would have been a breaker, very small 3-minute breaker here. So you get a high, low, higher high, lower low. But this wouldn't, this is kind of in the middle of the range. Yeah, we have the standard deviation to go off of here. You have basically 4 standard deviation move right here, but I'd like to see when I'm entering off of a trade like this for a setup like that, I would want to have seen this sweep London high and have a similar setup with a larger breaker. Want to see a push through this 15 here, not reject out of it. Depends, Kodo, if it's a bullish or a bearish breaker. This is a bearish breaker right here, because you got the sweep higher and then you get the move lower. So that would be a bearish breaker. But this, we'll see. This is just the middle of the range. I don't like taking a breaker setup just in the middle of the range like that. I want a sweep of a key level first. Or in this case, I'd want to see an inversion of this 15 and a clear draw on liquidity to the downside here, because this could be considered an AMD model where you have the manipulation or the accumulation, manipulation, and then the distribution down. But we're just staying patient here. This is ES, KC. Yeah, this is ES. There are a decent amount of orders stacked higher now, up to 67.75. So we'll see if this area holds right here. I'd like to see a pretty strong, swift movement to the downside off of this level. Appreciate all the follows, man. Yeah, I did that the other day, Valis. I was in class and I looked down, I saw my mic on, I was like, oh crap. Yeah, that's funny. I have done that. YouTube is Christian Trades Live. Big order here at 67.50. Excuse me, 67.60. See if it touches into that and then rejects out of it. How long have you been trading for? About 4 years. Buy or sell? Signal botting over there, Adam? This is ES right now. Oh, oh, my bad. There's a mixture. There's a mixture. Looks like 80 of them are sell orders, 22 of them are buy orders. It's a strong little rejection there. Push through this 15. Let's get a move down here. Where's the course? I don't have one, man. Not a course seller. If I do make a course, which I'm gonna make a series, but I'm not gonna sell it. Most likely, I'm gonna just have it on my YouTube. Do I only use ES? No, I use NQ as well. I just right now I'm favoring ES. I think the moves are happening sooner. I think ES is kind of leading. I think the moves are happening sooner on ES than they are on NQ. Caught them longs for 100 points. There you go, Dex. Got to close these blinds. Yeah, I want to see the inversion of this 15. They're about the same. I mean, they're almost identical right now. They're in lockstep. That's bouncing back and forth between the two. I'm not going to go off of the lower time frames. I'm going to wait for the 5 or the 15. I mean, I see the breaker here. We had the breaker set up for a short, but I'm going to wait. I don't want to front run these gaps. Am I thinking of entering a long? No, it's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a short. Close 1RR up 500. There you go. We definitely want to invert these levels before I get into this. What state are you from? North Carolina. North Kakalaki. Do I typically make moves on Monday? If we see something we like, yeah. It's funny. It is, Ballas. You are correct. It is. This man knows his history. Gade now. Waiting for a confirmation in a direction that we're interested in. Be interested in taking a short here down to New York AM low. Swept up a good bit of this buy side here, dropped back down, strong rejection off of those key levels right here, and then want to see it potentially come all the way back down. Realistically, it would be above the gap. That's why I'm more interested in 15. It would be probably above this wick high if I do enter. It's kind of a longer stop, but we'll see. Probably should have this marked on ES because I kind of like it on ES better. This 5 is holding strong here. $12K loss because my trading glitched and it didn't let me put a stop loss. That's rough, dude. My uncle attendant told me 3 things to go. I don't know why. That's the only thing I remember that night. It is an interesting fact. That would not be what I was looking for, Josh. Well, I'd be looking for an inversion of this and then a target of this level down here, ideally. This 5 is holding. Bunch of orders lower, though. A lot of orders higher, too. Orders up to 67.70. Really 67.75, which would be the wick high, I think. Yeah. Yeah, class at 11:15. This would be one of those days where, you know, it's happened so many times recently where the setup we've been waiting for happens right before I got to get off and go to class. Tis what it is. Do I swing trade? No. I don't focus on RR that much, Ben. I focus on just getting a solid entry. I mean, if the stop's going to be super long, I don't take the trade. Or if I do, I size down tremendously. But more often than not, I just don't take the trade. It's going to be a super long stop. Is your class remote? No, none of my classes are remote. Yeah, I live relatively close to campus. Just hop on my little scoot and get on over there. If it inverts to 15, would you wait for a retest of it? Potentially. Yeah, I think if it did invert that 15, it could dig back in. As long as it doesn't push past CE of that gap, it would be a very interesting trade. Picturing me on a scooter. I'm sure I look funny. When I told my girlfriend I was getting one, she clearly was thought that was hilarious that I would even entertain the idea. It's useful though. I'm very glad I got it. C of the gap is the center, the middle of the gap. Exactly, VC trades. Yeah, that's exactly what I'd look for. Down to this New York AM, and potentially hold to the other New York AM from like September. When was that? No, it was October 17th. We do have one down October 17th down there. We do have, I think we have one from September marked out too, though. Should be funny. We'd be really dumping if we got that. Yeah, literally me. I like to see sweeps. We obviously didn't get one here, but I think if we get an inversion and a strong momentum down to the lows here, a short would be valid. We'll see though. DK on the scooter from Mario Kart. No, we haven't taken any trades. You're in longs off of this 5-minute gap. You always envied the students on campus scooters. They're not. You can get into one for pretty cheap, or you can rent one. My university allows you to rent them if you want for the semester. Yeah, I think that even though we're in this 4 hour, I mean, obviously, you make a valid point, but we're delivering out of those bullish gaps above us. So I think that we could push down to this. We'll see, though. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm going to be reading the book map to see how that's stacking up in terms of taking the trade. Right now, this level's pretty strong, acting as a pretty strong support level. It could just be one of those days where you don't take a trade. I'm fine with that. Yeah, daily to the upside and the downside. G. You got a bearish gap right there and a bullish gap right here. So am I getting cooked today? We haven't taken a trade. It's been a while since I've gotten cooked, Howard, to be completely honest with you. Our P&L is looking pretty solid for the month right now. For the past 2 months, actually. Can't really complain about this. October, pretty solid as well. So, haven't really gotten cooked a whole lot. Had 2 red days in October, and so far this month we've had 1. So, Not complaining. This month, right now, we're up 30.9K. Is high RR better than decent RR? What do you mean? How many accounts? We're trading 10 right now. Most of that came from trading only 5, though. We've just been sizing up as we go. Middle to end of September, like September 20 something, I blew every account that I had like an idiot. 20 Apex accounts, 5 TPT accounts. So I've been building back up from there. Would you say it's a 5-minute breaker? I don't like, I mean, you will have breakers that form in the middle of the range. Like this is a 3-minute breaker right here. But I don't typically just go off of breakers in the middle of the range. I like to use breakers as confirmation when we've swept a key level. So like you can make the argument for a short here off of this breaker, off the 3-minute. But we haven't swept anything. Yeah, we had 4 standard deviations from the move down here up to here. But I'd like to see a sweep of a key level before I'm going to enter it off of a breaker. What do you do with all the money you make? Save it, man. Invest it, save it. High RR with decent win rate, or just keep the 2 to 3. If you have, I think there's a metric that you will see on something called the platform I use is TradeZilla, and it tracks your profit factor. I think that metric is the most important metric you will have, and it's basically a metric of how big are your wins versus how big are your losses, which is basically RR, risk to reward, but it is a factor of confirmed what is your rate. Like off all the trades you've taken, what is your profit factor? Meaning, and mine's at a 3.04, meaning for every dollar that I lose, I'm making $3.4. That's basically how you can look at that. And that is great. So it's like a 1 to 3 or a 3 to 1 RR. 1 to 3, depending on how you're looking at it. I'm risking 1 to make 3, basically, every trade. That's a lot of green. Consequent encroachment, aka middle of the gap. Yeah. That's what CE specifically means. Yeah, I appreciate that, Matthew. I wouldn't be looking PSI. I wouldn't 18 PSI boost. What do you drive? I want to click on your profile, but I don't want to pull it up for everyone to see. But I would not be looking. The things that I'd be focused on at this very moment would be looking for an inversion here. We're kind of just consolidating. So just wait. This is consolidation right here. Consolidation. 99 Honda Civic, okay. Lethal, I get your point, man. I somewhat agree with you on that. I do plan on enjoying. I like your mentality. I think that there's a good, solid balance there, though. of making sure that you're squared away for the future while also enjoying the fruits of your labor. And I intend to do so. I'm just waiting until I'm at a certain point before I do that. But don't worry, I do have plans, and you guys will be a part of that when it happens. I'll make a whole little couple videos off of it for you guys to watch. I just have certain milestones I want to hit before I do anything crazy. I have all that. What I did last July was set out some very some goals that I had for myself, and until I reach certain levels, I'm not going to do certain things. So when I reach those certain levels and I've reached those goals, then I will do certain things, and it won't be something that I'm trying to flex on. I'm hoping it'll just be more motivation and more of a celebration of how far I've come from where I was. I will not quit school. No, I set out. I like to finish what I start, man. And I started down this journey very, very disciplined on what I wanted to do. And to get to where I am now has taken a lot of hard work. To get into UNC was not easy. So I think I'd be stupid to not finish and get a degree from here, with it being as respectable of a university as it is. Appreciate that, Robbie. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's gonna be pretty fun. Why economics? So initially, and I'll talk about this since we're just sitting here consolidating in this range. So my intended goal when I started out going back to school was to go to law school. And hang on a second. Camera just rang for some reason. Somebody ding dong ditching my. Oh shit. Did you knock on the door? Nope. Oh, okay. The initial plan was to go to law school. So, and if you know anything about law school, there's different rankings, and typically the top 14 schools, the T14 as they're known, they're the most competitive law schools that you want to try to get into, because when you graduate from one of those, the average income coming out of those top 14 schools is way higher than coming out of really any of the other schools. So my goal was to go to one of the top 14 schools. So I did research. What are the most common undergraduate degrees that people who get into those top 14 schools have? Economics was one of the top ones. So that's the main reason I picked economics, was to position myself. And you could argue, well, that's not because economics is viewed as a valuable degree. It's maybe the people who do choose economics have a tendency to perform better on the LSAT, whatever the reason was. That's the truth, is that one of the most common degrees in the top 14 school for undergraduates is economics. So that was the whole reason I went with economics. Philosophy, believe it or not, is one of the other top ones. I'm not. I'd actually plan to trade, man. I think that's my focus has shifted to trading rather than going to law school. But I don't want to rule anything out. I don't want to make rash decisions and close doors that could potentially open in the future. So my goal right now is to still get the highest GPA possible and to finish undergrad, so that if 10 years down the road or 5 years down the road, all of a sudden they make day trading illegal, obviously not going to happen, but I have options. I don't want to close any doors unnecessarily. Bro just ore farmed that guy outside. He looked like he was, it was the maintenance guy. He looked like he was trying to drop something off on the camera, but I think he had the wrong door. do economics and computer science, nice. Yeah, Robbie, you're on the same track of thinking. I'm planning to get in real estate. That's what my minor is real estate in Japanese. Maybe after you've been an attorney for a couple decades and you made partner at some elite firm, John, but that's not making 8 million a year is not the average. If you look at it, I think the average salary for most attorneys is in the like 60s to 70 range. But if you're talking about the top 14 schools, the average salary of an undergraduate, first year associate coming out of a T14 school is like 225,000. So it's a huge difference if you graduate from a T14 school. We do not want to invert this 5, man. Yeah. Yeah, John. And it's going up. I mean, the 225 might be a dated number. Looking for shorts, Brandon. I would like to see an inversion of this 5. Looks like this 15 could invert here. And would like to see maybe a retest of that. Any advice for someone on a 6-day registry? Take a break. Take a little break. Also, when you come back, make sure you size down. This price action pissed me off. I think it wants to go lower. It's just going to take a second. We're getting ready to invert this 15 if it potentially. Thoughts on setup? Forget it. I think that's a great strategy. If you have an issue with closing trades early or whatever, set it and forget it's a great strategy. I personally like to keep an eye on the book map, and I will potentially get out of a trade if I'm seeing something on the book map that indicates that I should. So set it and forget it isn't necessarily what I do, but TP would be down here, New York AM low, 66.70. It'd be a very nice trade if we could get it. Unfortunately, I got to go to class here very soon. Yeah, Colton, I learned a lot from him, mostly psychology and discipline. Marks, no, we're waiting for this setup to transpire here. Yeah, Robbie, I think that's a good, like, I'll open a trade, especially if I'm looking at the book map and see clear, momentum in my direction. I'll open a trade and like do something for a minute. I won't sit here and try to baby it. Was the last time you posted or you took a trade on live? It has been a little bit, but I just haven't been seeing trades first thing in the morning here, and it just sucks that the way my schedule has worked out. Unfortunately, having to get off at this time is not conducive with taking a live trade. I think on Friday we took that trade at like 3 o'clock. It's like 3:20 or something. When do I graduate? May 27. The indicator is called F-E-G-I-F-E-G, Nephew Sam. I gotta start putting my shoes on. Hang on a second. This 15 is just holding, man. It's very wiki. Very, very wiki. All right, VC, have a good one, man. Not a bad idea. No news Monday. I got you, Isaiah. Yeah, I like that one. I like that. What up, Rio? Yeah, don't forget the mic. Account management? What do you mean? Take it easy, Hassan. We'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, Casey, we're on YouTube. Christian Trades Alive, that's the name. I'm going to hop off of here, guys. I got 10 minutes to get to class. So obviously we didn't get what we're looking for here. Just chopping. Would have liked to see this 15 invert to the downside. Maybe I'll be able to get something this afternoon after class. Maybe not. I'll try to record it if I do. So thank you guys for being here, though. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for everything. Appreciate the engagement. Appreciate that, Randall. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. We're here every day. Drop a follow if you don't mind, if you're new here. We do this every single day. So appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the gifts. Look at this. We're getting a push down now. I got to run, though. God bless you guys. Be good. Take it easy. Be safe. Have a good day.